This Thursday, February 15th, NBA Betting Picks edition of the NBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Play Underdog's Pick'em for a chance to win 100x. Promo code NBA SGPN at UnderdogFantasy.com for a 100% deposit bonus. And we're also brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets. Sports betting research platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit HOFBets.com and use promo code SGPN to get 50% off your first month and start making smarter bets today. And we're also brought to you by the NASCAR Gambling Podcast. Enter their free Daytona 500 contest for a chance to win $100 cash and a $100 SGPN gift card at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Daytona. Welcome, everyone, to the NBA Gambling Podcast, part of the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. It is Thursday, February 15th, currently 11:08 on the East Coast. Here to get into the short Thursday slate, the final schedule of games before we do enter NBA All-Star Weekend. But joining me on this Thursday episode, filling in for Scott, I got the villain himself, the superstar of the show. It's Terrell Furman Jr. Terrell, what's going on, my man? How you doing this Thursday?
Oh, I'm good. Hey, last day before the All-Star break. Some people are going to take this day seriously. Others are not. And we'll see what it looks like. But I'm looking forward to it. A huge slate of games last night. So I'm glad that we got only 3 today.
Yeah, I think, we've been grinding away 5 days a week ever since the season started. I know you were mentioning that you've been on the pods that have the bigger slate. So I think, we're all going to get a little break here. We'll enjoy All-Star Weekend and kind of reset our batteries and get ready for the second half of the season. Still a lot to be determined in the association. But like you mentioned, 3 games on the Thursday night schedule. Let's quickly, we don't have to go quickly because there's only 3 games, but look back on last night in the association. Like you mentioned, Terrell, there's a lot of games on the schedule. Where do you want to start, man? I'll give you the floor here, man.
Oh, well, I mean, it's so much. I don't even know where to start. We can start with Utah, my lock for the past 2 shows that have let me down. And matter of fact, I mean, between Utah and Denver, I don't know who I'm more disappointed in. I feel like a sad father. I really don't know who I'm more disappointed in. Both of those 2 teams had the rest advantage. Both of those 2 teams caught a team coming off a back-to-back, and they were going into altitude, and both of them lost outright at home. Outright. As 5-point favorites, both of them lost outright. I mean, Rui Hachimura and AD, first Laker teammates since Shaq and Kobe to have 35+ in a game. Didn't think that was a stat.
Wow.
Didn't think that was for real. I'm actually kind of shocked. I don't believe it, actually. I have to go look at it and look at game logs. And because you got to show me that Bron and AD never did this, but I guess they never have. It said 35+ for the AD and Rui Hachimura, first teammates since Shaq and Kobe. So I guess so. But I don't know who I'm more disappointed in, Utah or Denver. Denver, I guess, because they have an MVP and they say the defending champions, they're going to be the 1 seed. People are still picking them to be the 1 seed. They're saying Jokic should be MVP this year. There's no way you lose to the Kings on a back-to-back like that. This Kings team just has their number, it seems like.
Especially what they did night before against Phoenix, right? I mean, that game was tight all the way around, right? It wasn't a blowout in that game against Phoenix, and it went down to the wire. So it wasn't like the starters didn't play a lot of minutes in that game against the Phoenix Suns, and they go into, like you mentioned, going into Denver. I know Denver was a little shorthanded, right? They didn't have KCP, they didn't have Jamal Murray, but still, you're going into altitude. It was really that second half where I myself also expected the Kings to run out of gas because they are in altitude on the second night of a back-to-back, but they actually outscored Denver, man, 61-45. And they stole
Crazy.
they stole a victory. So good for Sacramento, man.
Yeah. What else? The so it was a lot that went on in that Clippers Golden State game.
Oh yeah.
And I was watching the game
Mhm.
and I watched Ty Lue get ejected. One, Jonathan Kuminga. If you're gonna get a tech, get your money's worth. Get your money's worth. You should have. Oh, you about to get added to the team because you should have sent Mason Plumlee into the first row. Oh, if you gonna get a tech, get your money's worth. You paying a $5,000 tech. I think it's $5,000. I think you paying a $5,000 tech for no reason. Like you should have got something worth it. But so Ty Lue gets ejected, and at this point, I'm on Twitter verbally cooking Ty Lue, saying how this Clippers team is going to blow a playoff series lead and it's going to be his fault. And then he gets ejected. And in my head, I'm like, man, I should really take Clippers money line here because they were down by like 9 or so. It was something like that. I should really take Clippers money line here. I didn't do it. I didn't pull the trigger. And sure enough, it happened. As soon as Ty Lue left the game, they woke up and actually started playing basketball because Ty Lue was a horrible coach for them.
What about you? I don't even remember. Like Ty Lue seems like the most chill coach out there, and for him to get ejected, I think something should have gone down. But yeah, I was watching that game as well. Between the Clippers and the Warriors, that one turned out, like you mentioned, to be one of the more exciting ones of the night. What else did we see last night? I think Scott has talked a lot about how just this Boston team just owns Brooklyn for whatever reason. I mean, they just absolutely just smacked them last night and won that game by 50. What else was surprising? It was, I think, the Hornets, man. I know we've shit on the Hornets a lot. I don't know if it's that
it won't surprise me because we picked it, but boy.
But like by what, 23 points? I mean,
oh boy, that Atlanta team, man. That Atlanta team is horrible. That team is horrible. If they had just a fewer less wins, I would pick that team to have the worst record in the NBA. That team is terrible. Oh my God. That wasn't even a sweat. It wasn't even a sweat. I didn't sweat it. How do I not sweat a +2 something money line? I didn't even sweat at all. There was no point in that game where I said, oh man, this isn't gonna hit. Like, I'm not gonna get this money line. I'm over here thinking that the 7.5, like the 7.5 was clearly no sweat, but the money line, it was just, come on, Atlanta, make me work for the bet. Make me work for the bet.
Hey, sometimes we need.
I didn't work for it. Sometimes you get the night off. Sometimes you get the night off. You can just go in there, cruise control, and I guess that's what happened with Charlotte last night. We just got to go in there and cruise control and get a +250 money line because I don't know why you're laying 7.5. It got to 1 point on the road with the Hawks. I don't know.
Pistons almost did their best backdoor.
JR's talking about it's easy to call the Hawks trash because they're missing Capella and Okongwu. I don't think he's a.
I don't think they moved the needle that much.
Bro, they had the worst record ATS with their whole lineup in. Like, come on, let's not cape like the Hawks are good basketball. Let's not cape like the Hawks are good basketball. That's horrible basketball, regardless of who's in the lineup.
Yeah, I mean, I was high on this team coming in. I was absolutely completely wrong about the Atlanta Hawks, and I think that's also surprising that they didn't, trade away DeJounte Murray at the trade deadline. And I don't know. I know they were playing some good basketball at that time, but since then, I think was in the last 2 games.
They have the worst record ATS in the league.
Yeah.
They had the worst record. Charlotte was the worst record. Then they just gave it back because Charlotte is better than them because they fucking suck. I'm trying to tell you. There's no way you're going to convince me that you have the worst record in the league and you're a good basketball team. No, you have the worst ATS record in the league. You're not going to convince me you're a good basketball team.
What else did we see last night? Grizzlies. This Rockets team is absolutely trash on the road, at least. They give up 121 points to the Grizzlies. I don't think it was too shocking of a result because I know I've said it multiple times. This Rockets team, they're very good at Toyota Center. They're very good at home, but when it comes to the road, their ATS record reflects it, and their straight up record reflects it as well. So they're now 5-21 straight up on the road. They lose that game by 8. Mavs took care of business against the Spurs. I mean, that was pretty much it from last night.
Dang, Russell, I'm sorry you don't have chemistry with your co-host where you can just interrupt him and he knows that, hey, this is a part of the show. We know how to talk around each other.
Yeah, I mean, we've been doing we've
been doing shows for 3 years.
Yeah,
3 years, Munaf. We've been doing shows for 3 years. You understand that I'm going to just speak and you're like, oh, well, hey, that's a good point. And then Munaf and Scott could be all too. They have things too. Like we all, it's called chemistry.
We let our hosts be themselves. We don't change anyone on the NBA Gambling Podcast. I feel like we're also kind of trying to limp into NBA All-Star Weekend here because I feel like the energy's a little bit low. But yeah, I'm not much else, man. Did you have any thoughts on? Did you read the story about Isaiah Stewart and Drew Eubanks before the game?
So here's my one, because Scott couldn't wait to message me and be like, you see, Beef Stew was trying to fight. He always been trying to fight. He punched Drew Eubanks in the face. He knew who he could punch in the face and get away with it. He knew the person he could punch in the face and get away with it. Of everybody that got punched in the face, Drew Eubanks got punched in the face. He knew he could punch in the face and get away with it. So I don't believe that. I don't believe that at all. The only question that I have for Drew Eubanks is, if it was such a soft punch, why didn't you hit him back? So I got to see the footage. I cannot wait till they drop that footage. I know it's a security camera somewhere. I know the footage is going to get leaked. It's some person that's in the back office watching that, and they're like, oh, they need to do it. So Drew Eubanks, you're telling me that it was a soft punch and he punched you in the face and you didn't punch him back?
And he ended up playing the game.
All right, bro. All right. All right.
Yeah, I was like scouring Twitter to see if I can find the video, but it hasn't been released yet.
All right, man. You telling me that it was a soft punch, but you ain't hit him back. And now he's getting assault charges. So did you press charges?
I don't know if it was he had pressed the charge. I see he did get like arrested for assault, and then he was released with a citation. That's the last thing I read about the whole situation as of this morning. But yeah, I'm not with you though. I need to see this tape and see what kind of transpired. It's probably not like a Draymond Green punch on Jordan.
How did y'all even get into it?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out.
I think I need to do research. Did they like play against each other in college, or like what is the history between Isaiah Stewart and Drew Eubanks? Why is this a storyline? The NBA gives you random storylines.
Yeah, it was weird when Shumps actually dropped the story, but interesting to say the least. Anything else from last night, Terrell? You want to mention?
No, man. Let's get these 3 games out the way.
Yeah. All right. Before we actually get into the games here for tonight, let me tell everyone again about Daytona 500. It's this weekend. Go check out the NASCAR Gambling Podcast. Those guys absolutely crushed it last season. I remember a particular time where I messaged Rod on a particular race because there was nothing going on a Sunday afternoon, and he gave me 2 guys to bet on, and those guys finished exactly first and second. So those guys know what they are talking about. But they have a contest going on right now for Daytona 500 this weekend. All you got to do is go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com /Daytona. You enter for free. There's a chance for you to win a $100 SGPN gift card and $100 in cash. And also make sure you support them with their IndyCar podcast and also F1 as well, because those guys, like I mentioned, they know what they are talking about. And we're also brought to you by our friends over at Underdog Fantasy. Underdog Fantasy has a way to play alongside your favorite fantasy players all season long. NBA, NHL, and college basketball. Simply pick higher or lower on your favorite players' fantasy stats and cash in. You can win 100x with some spicy plays. Stay tuned at the end of the episode. Terrell and we will put together a Underdog entry for the 3 games here for tonight on Thursday, so you can watch along, make your picks, and maybe make a little cash over on Underdog's mobile app or website, underdogfantasy.com. And when you sign up with promo code NBA SGPN, Underdog will double your first deposit of up to $100. Again, that's Underdog Fantasy. But make sure you use that promo code NBA SGPN. All right, Terrell, let's get into it, my man. We've got 3 games here. We'll lead it off here with the Milwaukee Bucks. They are in Memphis here tonight to take on the Grizzlies. Currently, as it stands, the Bucks are an 11-point road favorite here with a total of 223. Looking at the injury report, let's start here with the Milwaukee Bucks. Chris Middleton continues to be out with a left ankle sprain. Dame and Giannis are both, probable here tonight for the Milwaukee Bucks. We just talked about it. Memphis did play last night against the Rockets. That they did get the victory as a 4-point underdog. They do get that extra time to submit that injury report, so look out for that for the Memphis Grizzlies. But Drell, can you make a case here laying the points with the Milwaukee Bucks team that has been absolutely struggling?
Well, the case is that they have to bounce back after scoring 97 points. I'm sorry, 97 points against Miami Heat with no Jimmy Butler.
Yeah.
I think that's the number one, if you're on the side of Milwaukee, it's like they have to have a bounce back spot. But this team also could very much be packed up and ready for the All-Star weekend, because it just didn't seem like there was any effort at all in that game against Miami. Like, it feels like that they just kind of packed it in. It's not going our way. Shots not hitting. They're hitting everything. We're just going to stop trying. And Doc Rivers, man, his tenure here in Milwaukee has not been good. I'm gonna be on the side of the points before the All-Star break. I don't know if Milwaukee's locked in. I really don't know if Milwaukee's locked in over this day right before the All-Star break. What's this, Thursday, tomorrow, tonight? Everybody's flying to Indiana, getting in the mood. They're probably like, you scored 97 against Miami. 97.
Yeah. That's terrible.
97? I just, this team's not good ATS. They're 9-6, 9-16 on the road, 20-29 as a favorite. They haven't been covering that well in the past 10 games, 6-10 over that span. Like, I just don't understand what there is to like about Milwaukee right now. Whereas it's not much to like about Memphis either. It's just the lack of talent. But at least Memphis goes out there and tries. I'm going to take the team that tries. I'll take the points.
Yeah, Grizzlies on back-to-back situations this season, 1-8 straight up, 8-1 towards the under, but they are 4-5 against the spread. So it's not like they're laying down. And I mean, I could see a world where the Bucks, maybe come out here and take care of business. But again, they just have been so bad on the road this season, 12-13 straight up. They're only 9-16 against the spread. And if you want to take a look at, let's see, I'm going to count this here: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So over the last 11 road games, Terrell, how many spreads do you think the Bucks have covered in their last 11 road games?
Last 11 road games. Last 11 road games. Okay. I don't want to look because the score is going to tell me. All right. I wanted to see what the teams were. The Bucks, if they're 9-16, the last 11. I know they've been bad with Doc, so let's just go ahead and chop up. They haven't covered in maybe 3 or 4. Let's say they haven't covered 9 of the last 11.
So they haven't covered 10. You were one short. They haven't covered 10 of their last 11. The only cover came was the February 3rd game against the Dallas Mavericks, where they won 129-117. And that was a game that they were trailing by, I think, like 25 points in the first quarter. So I can't do it. I can't lay it with the Bucks.
Wait, either. The game that they went to Dallas and came back, and wait, wasn't nobody playing in that one?
For the Mavericks?
For the wait, no, for the Bucks. I don't know. Somebody has. I felt like somebody had some outs in that one, but I know what you're talking about. It's the one where they were in Dallas, right?
Yeah. In Dallas, that was a game where Kyrie didn't play, but that was a game where Dallas was up 44-20 in the first quarter, and Milwaukee finally woke up, I guess, in the second quarter. The rest of the way, they won every single quarter after that. They responded with a 40-21 second quarter. But I mean, you said it. I can't lay it with the Bucks here. I think that for a Memphis team that doesn't have any all-stars going, like, they'll be dialed into this game, right? I think that despite their record ATS straight up record in back-to-back situations, they've still been pretty good against the spread on back-to-back situations. So I'll take the plus 11.5. Sorry, yeah, the plus 11.5 here with the Grizzlies. Any thoughts on the total here at 223?
I kind of lean to the under a little bit. And it's more, we look at the Milwaukee Bucks, and they actually have been playing better defense at Doc Rivers, much better. In fact, over the past 5 games, they're giving up 109 points per game, which is sixth in the NBA, and that includes a 123 to the Miami Heat, who can't score ever. Whereas the Memphis Grizzlies, they've been pretty solid over a course, like a little bit of a fallback. They're down to 12 now. They were a top 10 defense for majority of the year. They're down to 12 in the past 5 games, giving up 113. But I just know this Memphis team is full of a whole bunch of defensive dogs that are going to get after it. Now that the Bucks have Patrick Beverley, that Doc Rivers got them playing a little bit better on that side of ball. So I just think that it's more of an opportunity for an under now with this Bucks team than ever because of how they're playing. And it's before the All-Star break. Hopefully very, very lax, very, very sluggish. I think last year Giannis played like 2 minutes before the All-Star break and then came out because he had a hand injury going on at the time. Was that last year, the year before? It was one of those years Giannis did that. So like there's room and there's precedent set for this Bucks team not to care. So yeah, an under 223 here for me. Hopefully Grizzlies defense comes up big, and this is one of those ugly, ugly Memphis games that ends like 106-102.
Yeah, I think if we like the Grizzlies side here, you can't get into a shootout with the Bucks here. So I think they're gonna have to really lock in defensively. So I'm with you on the under here as well. So I think a bit of a correlation. If you do like the Grizzlies, it'll be correlated towards the under here with the Bucks. Any player props you like in this game?
Yeah. It's gonna be an ugly one. I just have, do we even have any? I don't even, oh, okay. We do got props. Like I said, I kind of lean to the under, so I want to go with target rebounds, and I just don't know how I don't target Giannis over 12.5 rebounds at plus money. Like if he plays, and that's really the concern for me and how I don't target Giannis. Is he gonna play? Is he gonna play the entire game? I would think he's not hurt this year, so it wouldn't be that he would sit down. And if this is a competitive game, like I think it's going to be, he should play the whole game, right? Because this still counts toward the standings, and you don't want to just give up a loss. So, I mean, that's my only concern, is Giannis going to play this entire time? But I think the game is close, so I'm just going to take my chance on it. Giannis over 12.5 rebounds at plus money, because nobody on this Memphis roster has that focus of rebounding like Giannis does. I think that's clearly his matchup to win.
Yeah, I think the one that I was looking at was Vince Williams Jr. on his assist.
VCU.
He's at 4.5 right now. It's at -160, but I would take it up to 5.5 to get some plus money there. He's had at least 8 assists in 4 straight games for the Memphis Grizzlies here. So I know the points are, the points prop is right where I think it should be. It's at 12.5. He's averaging around 14 around his last 5 games, but I think where he's getting the assist has been really good for Vince Williams Jr. He's also getting the minutes as well. He's averaging about 36 minutes per game over the last 5 games for the Memphis Grizzlies. So that was the one that did stick out to me. I agree with you about Giannis here. He should have a good game rebounding for the Milwaukee Bucks, especially if we're expecting this to be an ugly one here between the Bucks and the Grizzlies. Any other ones you're looking at?
GG, whenever he comes out.
Okay.
I think that GG Jackson should be a pretty solid play. And
points?
Maybe a points and rebounds.
Okay.
Maybe a points and rebounds. It's just they're giving him a lot of minutes. He's very active. It seems like they trust him in that, coming off the bench in that second unit, to kind of give them. When you think of Memphis and you think of all the guys that they've kind of had, Brandon Clark came off in a 6-man role for them at one point. They really, really trusted him with the second unit. There was a small short in time where Zaire Williams was hot and they were trusting him with the second unit. Like, they've always had that guy that they just said, hey, we really just need you to cook with the second unit and go to work. And it seems like Gigi's gotten that green light of, hey, if you're playing with the starters, you're still going to defer to them. But hey, when the second unit's out there, you go out there, you go to work. So I like GG Jackson. I think he should actually have a pretty solid day.
All right. Let's get over to the next game of the night. We've got the rematch between the Golden State Warriors and the Utah Jazz from a couple nights ago. This is actually the makeup game that was postponed about a couple weeks
Oh,
ago.
is it? Oh, okay.
This is the makeup game. So we got Warriors -1.5 in Utah here tonight to take on the Jazz, currently sitting with a total of 239.5 points. No injury reports submitted just yet for either team because, like we did talk about earlier in the show, that both teams did play on Wednesday night, so they do get that extra time to submit those injury reports. And I didn't see any news after the game if anybody was going to sit in this game. So I think that if the Warriors would have won last night, then maybe some of the guys would have sat here tonight for the Warriors. But nonetheless, like I mentioned, these two teams had just matched up. I believe this was on Monday between the Warriors and the Jazz, and the Warriors did win that game 129-107 behind another brilliant performance from Steph Curry, who's been on absolute fire shooting the basketball for the Warriors. So I'm not sure if you saw where he hit that three-pointer from the tunnel to the other side of the court.
Yep.
Oh my
And
goodness.
every time he does those shots, I think that they're not real. I don't know
Yeah.
why. I think that is CGI or is something not real about it, but I just think that is unreal. And somehow, I don't know, man. That's it's greatness, man. It's just greatness. Like, I don't know, man. That was a crazy
Yeah.
shot.
Let's start with the side here, man. -1.5 in favor of the Warriors. What are you thinking?
I would have loved for the Warriors to win that game. And
Yeah.
I think I might have gave the Jazz one more shot. But oh man, Utah's really killing me right now. They're going through that slump. Everybody has it. Everybody has one where they go through the slump and they're not playing their best basketball. And that's Utah. They're kind of limping into these all-star game. And because of that, I can't take them. And because I can't take them, it means they're probably going to win tonight. Because whenever I fade Utah, they immediately make me regret it.
Yeah, they've just been struggling on the defensive side. I mean, take a look at the last 3 games. They gave up 129 each to the Suns and the Warriors. They gave up 138 last night to the Lakers. And they've lost let's see here, 6 of their last 8 games, and they've only covered 2 of their last 8 games as well. So, I mean, like you mentioned, right? It's the ebbs and flows of the NBA season where you'll see teams struggle. And I think that they're kind of in the wave right now. So I think they're probably just looking forward to getting to the All-Star break. And trying to put this bad spell, we can say, behind them and just come out after the All-Star break and maybe look like the team that we saw earlier in the season. But I think this is an important game for the Warriors because we talked about it I think on Monday or Tuesday that they're right there at 500. So they've been playing some great basketball, the Warriors, over the last 2 weeks. I know, like we mentioned, they fell a little bit short at home last night against the Clippers, but I think this is a game that they do want to get back above 500 before the All-Star break. And then coming out of the All-Star break, we'll see what happens with the Warriors. But yeah, I'm on the Warriors side here, man. -1.5. I just can't trust this. I can't trust this Jazz defense right now. With the way they've been playing. So I'm on the Warriors here, -1.5. You have anything on the total? 239.5?
Oh yeah, it's over.
Yeah.
Golden
Yeah, the
State.
same way.
And Golden State's defense has been better, but they really gave it up last night. They're going, and I'll give Utah another chance because yesterday they played a team that was back-to-back with travel to altitude, and they ended up giving up an L anyway. But now here you go, back-to-back altitude. Golden State's been a cash cow. They really have. They just played in Utah last week. Was it this week?
Yeah, it was
Yeah, this
on
week.
was it
Monday.
Tuesday? Monday, yeah.
Because I took Utah in that game.
Yeah,
So
Monday.
this is kind of a screw it. I'm taking Utah one more time. This is the last time. When Sean took me to Vegas, when Sean Stacking the Money Green took me to Vegas and he started teaching me about table games and he taught me blackjack, he always told me 3 times, if you lose 3 times in a row, you get up from the table and you carry on, you go find another table, you get a drink, you do something and you reset and then you come back. It's 2 out of 3. Go in Utah one more time. Because
Yeah.
really, like, it's pretty much a deja vu game. Like, this is pretty much a deja vu game. They're back at home. I really want to think that the back-to-back plus travel is going to mean something, even though this Golden State team is maybe the second hottest team in the NBA now, second to the Los Angeles Clippers. But Utah really needs a win before the All-Star break. Like, those 3 losses in a row, Phoenix, Golden State, the Lakers, like, they really need a win. So hopefully they can get a bounce back in what should be a deja vu game.
Yeah, I'm with you on the over here. I think that, again,
I can't bet it, though, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, I get it.
The over. I love the over, though. I love the over. I think the Utah, horrible on defense. If they win, they're going to have to score to keep up. And they have the options to do so. Like,
Yeah.
with getting Abaji and Olynyk out there, it's opened things up for Keontae George that Will Hardy has said, hey, Keontae George, I want to give him more minutes. I want to give him more opportunity. He is a really good player. So they're really stacked in the backcourt, to be honest. And then it opens up Walker Kessler and just allows Walker Kessler more opportunity to roam. And I just think that he should be able to try to take advantage of being the only big on the court, like being the biggest player on the court. Didn't do so much last time, but hopefully we can get a better one this go around.
Warriors on back-to-back situations on the road, 4-2 towards the over, and then the Utah Jazz this season in back-to-back situations at home, 2-0 to the over, averaging right around 242.5 points in those 2 contests, actually for both teams, coincidentally. So right now it's sitting at 239.5. Obviously, if Curry gets ruled out or injury news comes out later in the day, because they do have that extra time, like I mentioned, because they played last night to get those injury reports submitted, that obviously our opinions will change on that game. But as of right now, assuming that Curry does play in this game, yeah, I think we're both on the over here. Leading us to player props, Terrell, what are you thinking?
All right. Does Stephen Curry make it 5 straight games with 7+ threes made?
I think so. You got to ride the hot hand.
I mean, why not? Why would he not?
It goes back to your blackjack table analogy. If like the table's hot, you're not getting up from it. And
no, I'm not getting up right now. No, yeah. Hey, so look. So quick story time. So one of those times, Sean and Kramer had me out in Vegas, and we were in Circa. And so I think they had just did VSiN spot. So we went to the blackjack tables. And when I say it was the most insane blackjack heater I've ever been on, we were at the table for hours, and it was no point that anybody said we need to get up because we kept winning. And so it was so point that I look over at Sean and I said, Sean, what do you do if you're on a heater and you got to go to the bathroom? Sean, we've been getting drinks for like the past couple hours. I have to freaking pee, but I can't get up because I feel like I'm going to miss something. And he started laughing. And he was like, you got to hold it, man, because it's not over. Oh, man. It was like the most insane blackjack heater I've ever seen. I couldn't believe it. And it was hilarious. I don't know how I got on that tirade, but it was a very funny story. Because Sean's just like, no, don't get up. Don't get up. You might have to pee yourself. You cannot get up right now.
Yeah, you can't mess up the juju. You got to hold it, man.
Oh, man. But I say all that to say that we're talking about the heater that Steph is on. Yeah, the heater that Steph is on. You don't get up from the table. His over 5.5 threes is at plus 102.
But also, like, you look at the attempts, Terrell. Like, he's had 16 attempts in at least 16 attempts in 4 straight games from the 3-point line.
If you give me 16 shots with Steph from the 3-point line, I'm gonna get 6. He could go 6 for 16, and it may not look too good on the stat sheet, but we cash that prop. Yeah, bro. Yeah. We got to play Steph over 5.5 threes.
Yeah, I mean, what's just like? I think that I think it's a bit correlated that if he's gonna get over his points prop, it's because he probably knocked down those 3-point shots. So right now he's at 30.5. And again, if he knocks down 6 of, well, let's say 6 of 16, that's 18 points right there. So I think a lot of his shot volume, at least over the last 4 games, have come majority of it from the 3-point line. So just take a look at this. So last 4 games. So against the Pacers, he got 22 shot attempts up. 16 was from the 3-point line. Again, same thing against Phoenix. 22 attempts, 16 from the 3-point line. Against Utah on Monday night, 19 shot attempts, 16 of those 19 came from the 3-point line. And then last night against the Clippers, 31 shot attempts, 19 came from the 3-point line. So, yeah, I think you got to continue, being on Steph Curry. 3-point props here. Anything else you're looking at?
Let's see. Keontae George, very, very tempted as his assist at over 5.5 at plus 110. Very, very tempted. If I think this is going to be an over game, I think that this team is going to have to score to keep up. And when Keontae George gets 30, like he's young, so I expect him to play the back-to-back the full allotment. When he gets 30 minutes plus, he gets over this line 6, 7. He's got another 30-minute plus against the Wizards. He got 7. Like when he gets the minutes, he gets over this line, and he's done it. Look, another 33 against OKC. He's got 7 assists. You go back even further. I have to go all the way back into November to the last time he's got 33 minutes in a game, 30 plus minutes in a game, and not had over 5.5 assists. He's done that. He did it whenever he had 30 plus in the month of December. He had a 32 against Dallas, 11 assists, 36 against Portland in overtime, 6 assists. Like from December on, every time he got 30 plus minutes, he's gotten over this line. So why fade it now? I'll go with Keontae George plus money over 5.5 assists at plus 110. I think he's still going to play the minutes, even though he's on a back-to-back.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Are we going back to Walker Kessler blocks? I know we talked about that on Monday. He's had, let me see here. I just had it in front of me. Where'd it go? Oh, here we go. He's had at least 3 blocks in 5 straight games. Let me see if we want to go back even further. 6 straight games, at least 3 blocks. Now the odds have adjusted, or the VIG has adjusted a little bit. It's at minus 140 now instead of minus 110. But I think we got to continue going back to it. So Walker Kessler over 2.5 blocks for me in this game.
Yeah, he cashed it.
Yeah,
cashed it that last
rather easily,
like you said. Yeah, like you said.
Anything else for this game, Terrell?
No, I'm good. Keontae George and stuff. That's it.
All right, let's get over to, or before we get over to the last game of the night, let me tell everyone about our friends over at Hall of Fame Bets. Win bigger by betting smarter this NBA season with Hall of Fame Bets, a sports betting analytics platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Research every NBA and soccer bet with historical stats and data. Enter any parlay idea into Hall of Fame Bets revolutionary parlay optimizer tools to get hit rates broken down by leg, as well as an expected probability for the entire parlay. Sort all players by hit rate for any bet to learn which players are hot and which picks have value. Stop betting in the dark and join over 30,000 users researching with Hall of Fame Bets to craft more intelligent, data-driven parlays. Download Hall of Fame Bets app or visit HOFBets.com and use promo code SGPN to get 50% off your first month. Start researching, start winning with Hall of Fame Bets. All right, Terrell, last game on the schedule for tonight. The Portland Trailblazers are hosting the Minnesota Timberwolves again. They played, I believe this was Tuesday night in Portland. But right now, as it stands, the Minnesota Timberwolves are a 9-point favorite in this game with a total of 215. And looking at the injury report here for the Minnesota Timberwolves, Jalen Clark is out. Anthony Edwards is questionable for this game. He has right knee soreness, and Wendell Moore Jr. also is questionable. For the Portland Trailblazers, guys that are out, Shaedon Sharpe, Malcolm Brogdon, and Moses Brown. And probable is Scoot Henderson tonight. So Scoot Henderson, probable. Malcolm Brogdon, Moses Brown, and Shaedon Sharpe are all out for this game. Like I mentioned, these two teams just played against each other on the Tuesday schedule, where the Minnesota Timberwolves did win that game 121-109, did end up covering the 8.5-point spread. The game did go over the total, and they're right back at it here on Thursday night before the All-Star break here, Terrell. Any case to be made for Portland here, or do you think that Minnesota rolls again?
Nah, I'm all over Portland in this spot. I don't care what happened. Do it again. Do it again. It's a deja vu game. Prove to me you can do it again. 41 points from Ant in that game, and now he has right knee soreness right before the All-Star break, and he's supposed to go through All-Star weekend. I don't know, man. Like I said, I mentioned it, the Giannis thing last year, where Giannis had that hand injury, and they were like, "Oh, he's questionable to play." He ends up playing and then leaves the game early. Like, is there a situation where Anthony Edwards they just start playing and they're like, "Oh no, we're not gonna do this to him"? It's like the last game for the All-Star break. I really, really don't believe that they're really, really 100% locked into this game. Whereas the Portland Trailblazers have absolutely nothing to lose. It's not like anybody has anything to do this weekend.
Yeah, yeah.
Nobody's got anything to do this weekend. So they should be 100% locked into this game. I think Anthony Simons can have a little bit more of an efficient game than he did. He got the attempts, he just didn't have the efficiency. DeAndre Ayton had a great game that last time out. Only missed one bucket, 22 and 16. I think that he can have some more success with that again. But I'm really just more of fading Anthony Edwards, fading a little bit of an injury, play it safe a little bit. Timberwolves not caring too much. Deja vu game, add that all together. I'll take Portland +9. Sprinkle on the money line.
Well, one player that does have something to do this weekend is going to be Scoot Henderson. He's actually playing on Team Tamika in the Rising Stars Challenge on Friday night. So we'll give at least Scoot Henderson some credit there that he is going to be participating in All-Star
All
weekend.
right.
But
All right. We got one.
yeah, we got one at least. Yeah, I think the concern about Anthony Edwards, like you mentioned, I think that's a great handicap that again, questionable for this game. How much does Portland actually, or sorry, Minnesota want to win by margin? Because if you go back and look at the actual box score from the game on Tuesday, it was really
Mm-hmm.
that first quarter that did the Portland Trailblazers in. After that, they were actually
Mm-hmm.
+4 rest of the way for that game. So um yeah, I think you're correct. When I kind of see these, we've talked about it a lot over the past several seasons when we see these two teams, two same teams match up, whether it's been in
Mm-hmm.
consecutive nights or in, two nights in or two games in 3 nights. Usually you'll see the other team come back and cover in the game that they didn't cover in that first game. So I'll take the points here as well with the Portland Trailblazers. I think that they'll play with some pride here. And again, I think that the T Wolves probably kind of let's, lollygag through this game. They probably win maybe by 6-7 points, but I think that Portland does get the cover here at least. Total sitting at 215 in this game. Terrell, any thoughts on that?
215 is the total. Just give me a Minnesota team total under.
Okay.
I kind of don't know what Portland's going to do. But if I feel good about anything, I feel good about Minnesota shitting the bed here, at least on the scoring aspect. Maybe they play really, really good defense, so I guess maybe you should go towards the under. But I think Minnesota really can shit the bed here right before the All-Star break, especially if Anthony Edwards is not 100%. And they just decide to guard them a little different and make somebody else beat them, make somebody else make the other play. Like, do we trust the scoring everywhere else? Remember a long portion of this season where it just seemed like Minnesota could not score the basketball at all if it wasn't for Anthony Edwards and maybe sometimes Cat. So yeah, I'm all over Minnesota team total under. I think that Portland, who's been playing better defensively, comes and shows up big in this spot and at least keeps them under that total. Let me get a number on that.
I see 112.5.
Yeah,
for Minnesota. Yeah, I was kind of looking at the other way at Portland to go over on their team total 102.5.
I was debating which one to go to.
Yeah, I think like Minnesota's. I don't think that defensive intensity is going to be there in this game. I mean, the theme kind of has been that hey, these guys, I mean, regardless if they're participating in All-Star Weekend or not, they're just kind of ready to kind of have a break here, like at least a week off here for a lot of these players. In teams that are not going to be participating, that maybe take a quick vacation or spending time with friends, family, or the case might be, right? So I think that defensively, like that intensity is not going to be there. And like I think last night's a classic example, like you brought up, the Warriors gave up that 130 piece to the LA Clippers, where the Warriors were one of the better teams, if not one of the best teams defensive wise, at least over the last 5 to 10 games where they've made their run, getting back to 500. So this may be a similar situation for the Minnesota Timberwolves, that their effort's not there on the defensive side. And I think that Portland can get over this team total right now of 102.5. So I'll look at the total that way. I think that's kind of also correlates to how we do like Portland here tonight as well. At least to cover the number here against the Minnesota Timberwolves. Player props, Terrell, anything you're looking at?
Okay. I see the DeAndre Ayton chatter. I'm not mad at it. I'm mad at it. I like it. Let's see here.
Ayton had 22 and 16.
I really can't see myself backing anybody on Minnesota. I just feel like this is such a down spot. Such a down spot for Minnesota. Let's go with Simons, man. Simons is going to get the attempts, and this could be his. Hey, All-Star Weekend's about to show up. I don't really got nothing going on for real. I probably should. I think I'm better than that, and this is just one of his games to show out in. So maybe I'll go Anthony Simons over 21.5.
What's his 3-pointers at? He did go 4 of 10 in the last game. 3.5 at -105.
If you're going to get 10 attempts, you better hit 4 of them.
Yeah, let's see what he's done. Bro, he's at 4. He said at least he's exactly 4 in 5 straight games.
And it's only -105.
Yeah. I think we got to get on that.
Yeah. Some books I see plus money out there in some books too. It's crazy.
Yeah. So I'll go with that. Anthony Simons. That'll correlate to yours as well. Anytime I do bet Ayton, so 2 of the centers that I do bet on their rebounds to go over actually always shit the bed, and that's Rudy Gobert and DeAndre Ayton. They're both in this game. So I'll recommend the over on at least Ayton rebounds.
I don't know. DeAndre Ayton's double-double is at plus money. I think that's kind of insane.
Yeah. I mean, look, he's hit it in 2 games in a row. He's 18 and 17 against the Pelicans, and he had 22 and 16.
Plus money, 22 and 16. He just had 22. I'm not saying you can go out here and get, 50 million rebounds. Just get 10. It's plus money. Plus money bet. Yeah. DeAndre Ayton. Double-double. Plus 114.
Double-digit rebounds in 3 out of the last 5 games. It could have been 4 out of the 5.
It's a plus 130 out there. Yeah, it's a plus 130 out there. Go get that bet. Plus 130 for a double-double.
One game he fell short of 10 rebounds by 1 rebound. He had 9. But other than that, 16, 17, 9, 3, and 11 for Ayton. So, yeah, I definitely do like that look here as well. You got anything else for this game?
No, I'm good.
Yeah, you already answered it. Yep. Cape Quest asking. Also, weekend pod tomorrow. Yeah, Terrell and Scott will be doing that. So again, same time, same place. Make sure you guys tune in for all the fun bets for All-Star Weekend. All right, so that is the last game for the Thursday night schedule. 3 games here. Terrell, let's get into our lock and dog, and then we'll put together our Underdog Fantasy entry here for tonight. You want to lead us off?
Okay. For my lock, I can't make it Utah 3 games in a row. But what I will do is I'm going to fade the defense. Well, I don't know. It's right before All-Star break. Do I want to take an over right before the All-Star break? I don't think so. Actually, I should choose one of the unders that I like. So give me Memphis. Back to the well. Memphis unders. Memphis and Milwaukee under 223. Because for once this season, Milwaukee's playing defense. And they should be very locked into this game. But Memphis just doesn't let anybody walk into Memphis and just do whatever. What? Memphis just letting you walk into Memphis. Ask the Rockets how that worked out for them. They took an L. Now I'm expecting them to play a lot better defensively than they did last night. I think that the pace is going to be a lot slower. I think these teams are going to be sluggish. They're going to be looking ahead to the weekend. Hey, you know how it's like when it's Friday, Munaf. You know what it's like when it's Friday. Like you just in the office trying to get some stuff done and trying to push along. This is their Friday. Right before the All-Star break. So under 223 for Memphis and Milwaukee. That is my lock for my dog. Give me Portland plus 350 on the money line.
Oh, I was waiting for you to pick one of these bigger dogs here tonight. So there it is. All right. Yeah. All right. So Terrell's going with the under in the Bucks and the Grizzlies as his lock. And then the dog is going to be the Portland Trailblazers plus 350 on the money line. All right. For my lock here, you never walk away from a heater, Terrell. Never walk away from a heater.
Ooh, it sounds like one Stephen Curry.
Steph Curry over 5.5 3-pointers made.
Wardell.
He's just on fire right now, man. I don't know if it's Aisha sending him feet pictures before every game over the last 4 games, 5 games, whatever the case might be, but If she's doing that, I hope she does it again tonight because dude's an absolute monster. Shooting the 3-point ball. Give me Steph Curry over 5.5 3-pointers made. For my dog, we talked about Vince Williams Jr.'s assist here tonight. It's at 4.5, but obviously we're gonna ladder this up. So we'll go over 5.5 assists is at plus 120. Over 6.5 assists is at plus 220 for Vince Williams Jr. And we talked about it, he's at least 8 assists in 4 straight games for the Grizzlies. So I think that's something that's doable for him here again. And again, he's also been playing the minutes, right? He's averaging 36 minutes per game over the last 5 games for the Memphis Grizzlies. So I think that he can, at least get into the realm of at least 6 assists, if not 7 here tonight against the Milwaukee Bucks. And again, in a stretch here where he's done it in 4 games in a row. So I'll take that. Ladder up the Vince Williams Jr. assist here for tonight against the Milwaukee Bucks. All right, Troy, let's put together our Underdog Fantasy entry here before we wrap it up here for tonight. Again, guys, we are trailing right now by 2 signups in the little contest we have going across the network against the other shows.
Go sign your peoples up with that NBA SGPN code on Underdog. Go sign your peoples up. If you got a wife, a husband, a partner, a long-term girlfriend, a long-term boyfriend, a side chick, a side hen. I don't know what a side dude. I don't know. Whatever. Just go sign them up. Sign
Sugar
them up.
daddy.
Just use the code. Sign them. Sugar daddy. Yeah, sugar daddy. Sign them up. Sign them up with the promo code.
All right. Yeah, make sure NBA SGPN. Make sure you use that promo code NBA SGPN. All right, Terrell, where do we want to start here for our entry? Hopefully, let's build a winning one before the All-Star break. Get some momentum going into the All-Star break. So, where do we want to go?
We hit yesterday.
Oh, yeah. So that's 2 days in a row.
Yeah.
So, because me and Scott hit on Tuesday, you guys hit yesterday. So, let's go for 3 in a row. Where do you want to start?
Let's see. I really like it. Well, we got to add your Steph play. That was
let me look for Steph. You want to go just threes, or you want to go points?
No, let's go with threes. We got to ride the hot hand high.
Yeah. He's never walk away from a heater.
Yeah.
All right.
So
yeah,
we'll play.
They have it 5.5. All right, we'll start with that.
I do like the Keontae George assist play.
All right, let me look for Keontae George. He's at 5 assists for this game.
Oh yes, what? We're
higher on that.
Yeah. Let's go.
And then I'm not throwing Ayton in there. You want to go Simons? I know you like Simons tonight.
Yeah, we could go Simons. Simons is
21.
I'm kind of scared because I think it's an under game.
You want to go Ayton rebounds?
I don't mind Ayton rebounds, but I don't want to force you into something you don't want to do, Munaf.
Yeah, Aiden's been my kryptonite. Him and Gobert. Maybe they cancel each other out because they're playing against each other here tonight. But
they have 15 and 16 rebounds each, respectively, last game.
You have anything from the Memphis side you like, or even Milwaukee? You want to go Giannis rebounds?
Oh yeah, let's go with Giannis rebounds. I would really be disappointed if Giannis doesn't get these rebounds.
Yeah, he's at 12 as well. All right, so that we'll do with that. All right, so we got Steph Curry higher 5.5 3-pointers made tonight. And then we got Keontae George, higher 5 assists. And then we'll go Giannis, higher 12 rebounds here tonight. Going for 3 in a row here on the NBA Gambling Podcast. And if you haven't signed up, we're giving out winners. Make sure you use that promo code NBA SGPN. Yep. Get yourself signed up. You'll get that $100 deposit bonus on your first deposit up to $100. And then if you already have an account, you're sitting in the office right now, you're probably watching this or you're listening to this, tap your coworker on the shoulder. Get them signed up. Use that promo code NBASGPN. All right, that is going to wrap it up for the last games before the All-Star break. But the grind doesn't stop here on the NBA Gambling Podcast. Scott and Terrell will be here tomorrow for NBA All-Star Weekend picks. A lot of stuff to get through. We gave a little tease, Terrell, on the show we did yesterday with Sean and Ryan.
We gave a little tease. We should let the people know. NBA All-Star Weekend is a very profitable weekend for the NBA Gambling Podcast. We somehow, some way find a way to hit bets during All-Star Weekend. Shout out to one of the greatest NBA betting trends that we have right now. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. I can't wait to talk Celebrity Game MVP, All-Star MVP, Sabrina versus Steph, 3-point contest, dunk contest, skills challenge, all of that. Rising Stars challenge, all of it. We're talking about all of it.
There you go. Eric, a man of the people. Look at this. He says, I'm going to do it today. Sign up with Underdog Fantasy using that promo code NBA SGP. And Eric, once you do it, send us a screenshot. You can send it to our Twitter account on obviously Twitter, NBA, what is it? NBA SGPN, whatever it's called, I think. NBA SGPN.
Send it to our Twitter account on Instagram.
Or you can send it to Terrell at reallyrail__. Hey, Terrell has an Instagram. You could, slide into his DM, send him that screenshot. We'll shut you guys out for getting us or getting yourself signed up and helping out the NBA Gambling Podcast. All right, like I said, back tomorrow for NBA All-Star Weekend picks. Same time, same place to join us then. Till then, good luck with your bets here tonight. Enjoy the games. And let's break these books off and let it ride.